Welcome to the Talk Condo Release Radar, where every single week we talk about the best new condo launches to help you save thousands of dollars. And this last week's been an interesting week. We've been saying that the spring market's going to get going, and it really, really did last week. We had a couple of launches, been very, very active. I'm just getting caught up on my sleep right now. So last week we had Playground Condos launch on Wednesday, I believe it was, and we had our event, and it was insane. And this weekend we started the signings. Central Condos launched. We on last week's episode we talked about how that one came out of the blue.
Yeah.
And it's come out, and signings are still a couple of weeks away. But already we're seeing an incredible demand.
Demand for that area is always big.
Another one, we're going to talk about all these in a minute, but Indie as well. Indie condominiums did a very, very limited release. But the other one that came out last week that surprised us and was Zen Condos. Had 3 new floors.
Yeah.
Zen's one of our favorite condos by one of our favorite builders, Center Court Developments, and they released 60 units, and as of this morning they had 1 left, which is amazing. So jumping right into those and breaking them down one by one. Playground condominiums. We've done a full deep dive on this already. We've talked about the top 5 reasons to be excited about this one. The limited release that they did last week is now opening up to a bigger release. So give us a quick rundown, Mike, on Playground and where we're at and how to move forward on this one.
Yeah, so Playground was done, or not done, it launched, like you said, last Wednesday. First signings were this weekend, or last weekend.
Yeah.
So at this point, there's essentially it is going to be any new worksheets for any new releases of units. So there's still time. There are still units available. They are dwindling as we speak, like we saw with Zen. As new units get released, they can go rather quickly. So in terms of the project itself, we've talked about it in great detail. We have links for it, but just a quick recap. Again, King Strawn area in between 3 different neighborhoods: Liberty Village to the west, Fort York to the south, King West to the north. And it's done by Citizen in Fernbrook. We're looking at around just under $900 a square foot, so
which is a great price.
Price points are amazing. I was just talking to a client on the weekend who said, I'm looking for something that's like a 2-bed, maybe around $700,000. Can I even find that anymore? And I said, there's definitely tons of stuff. For families as well. So it's a good project for entry level, for investors, for families. It hits all 3 of those demographics that we were talking about. So definitely want to.
Just want to touch on one unique feature here. The unique feature here is that it's already under construction.
Exactly.
So again, the timeline is much more accelerated. It's only a couple of years until you're going to get the keys on this one. So
that's a big point. Having it already under construction and ready to go.
So the next one is Central Condominiums. Central Condominiums by Concord in the Entertainment District. Again, this one really caught us off guard last week, but we've had a chance to dive in, and it's a great project. Amit, I know you're a big fan of the Entertainment District. Give us a quick rundown on this one, and give us some quick notes on Central.
Yeah, it's by Concord, very well-known developer. They've done a lot of cool stuff in Toronto. So this was, like you said, it caught us off guard. Entertainment District is one of our favorite neighbors because just because of the pace of growth that's happening there, and to see all of a sudden a new release in the Entertainment District, this caught us off guard because we worked on 357 King. And then all of a sudden we saw another new development by Theatre District, and then all of a sudden another one, Central. So it's an exciting new development. We're big fans of the Entertainment District, really looking forward to helping people secure their units here.
Yeah, and Entertainment District's another one where the absorption rate is so
very
right
strong.
Now. Not just on this side, the investor side, but also on the resale side where, again, with a very low inventory.
You've seen the PSF, price per square foot, rapidly increasing as well, just because of that demand. And you're right next to the financial district, so you've got a lot of that young urban professional crowd wanting to live in this live, work, play kind of neighborhood, and I think the Entertainment District checks all of those boxes. So.
Okay. And price point, we're at about $1,100 per square foot, which in the heart of the Entertainment District now, where resale.
You're a reseller.
Resale. We're seeing Bond condominiums as an example, trade at $1,200, $1,100, Bisha $1,100. So we're in that price point now. So. Another one that was very interesting, and this is again partial launch. It's not a full launch, and the condominium is Indie Condominiums by Menkes development.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this one as a lead up. If you're on the priority list, we'll definitely be reaching out to you on this one. It's a limited release. It's only a small building to begin with, 200 units, but a portion of the building has been released to the platinum brokers.
It's a very small release.
Yeah, it is a very small one. It is a small release. But again, give us a quick. I know this is an area that you're very familiar with.
Yeah,
Jarvis and Dundas.
Yeah, it's just a touch east of Jarvis and Dundas. The big driving force in this whole entire neighborhood in terms of development has always been Ryerson University.
Yeah,
and I think partly because of the big shortage that Ryerson has traditionally had. I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, where when I went, there were kids back then, students back then, begging to stay with me, and because there was just a shortage of places for them to stay, and a lot of the new development going way back to Pace condominiums in 2011 has just been able to fill that demand, and there's still more demand because Ryerson itself is expanding, so there's a lot more demand for places to stay, and like I said, the new development is just fulfilling that demand.
Well, you mentioned Ryerson, but Ryerson's only one of the reasons why you're not too far from St. Mike's Hospital.
Yeah,
hospitals.
Well, if you look at it in terms of a map on downtown Toronto, Yonge and Dundas, I'd say is probably the dead center of downtown Toronto. So you've got the hospitals, you've got Eaton Centre, you've got Yonge and Dundas Square, you've got Dundas subway station, which in itself opens up the entire city to
and we're going to touch on this in a lot more detail with the individual videos, but just the Jarvis Church corridor itself.
Yeah,
it's
from
growing.
Bloor to Esplanade. If you look into the detail, the amount of revitalization is going to happen between this corridor over the next decade, it's incredible to look into. And this is part of that huge redevelopment there.
Yeah, for sure. So right now we're in an interesting time where we've been stalled for downtown condominiums, and right now we've got 3 really, really great options with Playground, Central condominiums in Indy. So those of you who've been waiting for downtown, now's the time to reach out to us. So
absolutely.
We're going to shift gears now and talk about some of the projects that are upcoming. So a lot of these we have been mentioning in past videos, but there's a couple of interesting ones that I really did want to touch on, and these are not new projects, but they're new release of suites in projects. I mentioned last week Zen Condos had 60 new suites, and in a couple of days, every single one is sold out. And the reason that we're excited for these is that these are all on previously sold out projects that have a new release, a new opportunity to get in, and they're all in amazing locations. And the first one is E2 Condominiums, which is at Yonge and Egg. Launched at the back end of last year. And again, it was one that got picked up very, very fast.
Sold so well. We worked on this, one of my favorite projects. Yonge and Eglinton, roughly 44 stories was launched initially, sold incredibly well. I think they were practically all done within, I'd say, a month. Maybe a few units here and there, some of the larger stuff. But the killer feature of this particular project, and we did an interview as well with Matt Young, the key thing with this particular project, and there's not many around, is this is going to have direct underground access to not just one high-speed transit line, but 2. So the LRT, so it's going to have direct access to the LRT, which is an east-west bound high-speed transit line, as well as the Yonge subway line, which is it's killer. Like you don't tend to see these. You're not going to see this because there's only certain intersections that have 2 high-speed lines.
And underground means everything in Toronto in the winter, so 6 months of the year.
And the other key thing here is, and you touched on this a couple of weeks ago, where there's going to be 15 stops along the LRT that are underground.
Right.
Yonge and Eglinton is one of those stops, so it's a true sort of subway-esque stop. So you're going to have access to both underground. You take one level, you get access to one line, and then you go underground again.
Exactly the same as Yonge and Bloor.
Exactly. So there's a new release. There's a
new release
of suites.
And the suites here is going to be the penthouse collection, the higher floors,
stuff.
And the specialty terrace units with these huge terrace units.
Those are going to be on the 5th floor. Beautiful terrace units, bigger suites, more tailored towards, say, the end user. I see. Yeah, beautiful building.
I think we're about 3 or 4 weeks away from that release. So if you're interested, make sure you're on the list for that, and we'll definitely reach out. The next new release is 3 buildings from the same builder.
One of our favorite builders.
Yeah, so Great Gulf Homes, obviously one of the top builders in the city. And they've got what a lot of the bigger builders tend to do is they tend to hold back units.
Yeah.
So they don't release everything at the beginning. They tend to hold some back so they can sell some at a later time.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they've done here. So three of the projects are, the first one is MONDE condominiums.
Yeah. Which you can actually see when you're driving down. It's there. It's standing beautifully.
It's nice, very nice.
The second one is home condominiums in King East. And the third one is 8 Cumberland in Yorkville.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to touch on each one very, very quickly. In terms of timelines, we've been told end of April, early May for this release, but we are anticipating big demand for all three.
All three at the same time, then?
Yes, it's going to be an inventory release, so each one sort of has its own little story. So we won't do a big dive right now, but we will as it gets closer. But MONDE is going to be it's much closer to completion. They've topped off. They're finishing the building right now. It's that waterfront condominium, and you're going to get a new release of the stack. Which means new water-facing suites, new city-facing suites, and this is a building designed by Moshe Safdie. One of the top architects in the world. So that one's a really, really exciting one. It's about a 1 year turnaround time.
Mm-hmm.
8 Cumberland. The next one we'll talk about is home. Home condominiums is at King East, East sort of Parliament area, and what we're really excited about there is there's a couple of major developments there that we won't get into too much detail, but I think they're important to highlight. Number one is the Unilever site, which has been in the papers a lot. And if you're not familiar with the Unilever site, it's a multi-million square foot brand new financial core that's going to be that's looking to be developed just across the way from here, which is going to add a ton of jobs, ton of new units. And the second one is the Relief Line, the subway. So the brand new downtown subway, which is expected to be on the east side, has now received funding, given the go-ahead, and it's going to be steps.
Just the next steps. Yeah, it's huge.
So this is going to be a really interesting one. And finally, 8 Cumberland. If you're looking for Yorkville projects, you know how rare they are. 8 Cumberland, there was a lot of people that were left disappointed because of just how much demand there is. So this is going to be a new, I believe, 5 floors that are going to be released. And these are really special projects that I think are going to be very interesting. So now that we've talked about the new releases, let's talk very quickly now about the new launches again. Looking forward over the next few weeks.
Our coming soon.
Our coming soon. So these are the ones that are over the next couple of weeks. We have dates now for a lot of them when they are going to be launching. And the first one is 9th and Main in Stouffville. I know you've been looking at this one really closely, Mike, with Pemberton. We've got a bit of an accelerated timeline now, so why don't you give us an overview on the timelines?
Blowout demand again. Stouffville, I mean, it was definitely one that we thought would be obviously a lot of interest, but we were just blown away.
Just the level of interest is like, okay.
We talk about downtown Toronto projects, but these outside the core projects, like these areas are just screaming for development. People want to stay in their community, but they're maybe getting older or they're first time buyers. Like these kind of projects end up being extremely in demand. So the timelines have kind of moved up in a sense. Still tomorrow, Thursday, will be the launch. So information is going to be going out on Thursday. But signings are going to be pulled up to the weekend because of the amount of demand. So
just to sort of back that out a little bit, what typically happens for a what we would call an end user condominium is that we would have the weekend to bring clients in, show them around so they can get a look and feel of what's going on. But early demand has said buyers, they're ready to go. They know what they want. They know their price point. They know they want to buy here. So they're actually not giving you that weekend anymore. This weekend is going to be the signings, which again speaks to the level of demand for this kind of project. And to do this accelerated launch, I think speaks volumes in terms of the demand levels that we're seeing.
And I've been in touch with people already, telling them the information is coming. If you are excited about this project, if you really want to secure a unit of this project, you have to be on the ball this week, Thursday, because it's going to be insane. Come the weekend. And it's first come, first serve. Again, you can still, of course, come out on the weekend and see things, but
secure your unit first.
Exactly. So that's going to be the advice that we go with. So again, 9th and Main, 3 minutes south of Main Street in Stouffville, GO station nearby. Beautiful building. Like the renderings are
The green space as well.
incredible. Green space. The west facing units are going to be so nice. So yeah, that's coming up very soon.
Tomorrow. So and we're told price points around $625 a square foot, $625 to $650, including parking.
Including parking and locker.
Yeah. So we're really excited about 9th and Main.
Yep.
The next one is Cardiff Condominiums, which is on Eglinton.
Yeah.
I know you've had a look at Cardiff, so give us a quick rundown on the Cardiff.
There's not too much information, unfortunately, about this brand new launch. I know this area very well. It's for those that sort of want to check it out. It's just west of Bayview and Eglinton. That's a very key intersection because Bayview and Eglinton is actually going to have an LRT stop as well. So we just talked about an LRT stop at Young and Eglinton. There will be one at Bayview and Eglinton, and that, like I was mentioned before, Young and Eglinton being one of the 15 stops underground. This is also one of those stops that will be underground as well. The building itself, another boutique building, which I absolutely love to see. It's only 12 stories and only 92 suites.
Yeah.
I've seen the design. It's by Raw. Love Raw. Amazingly designed, very modern architecture. It's an exciting project. It's a 5-minute walk from the LRT stop. So the LRT stop itself, there's actually going to be a north entrance and a south entrance. Yeah. And from this location, from this site, from Cardiff Condos, you're literally a 2 to 3 minute walk from the LRT, from a LRT stop.
And that one's coming in the next week or so.
Yeah.
So
but we don't have too much information, but it's coming. It's coming soon.
Then we want to transition out into Pickering. So we now have a date for Universal City condominiums. Yeah. So Universal City is the 4th condominium by Chestnut Hill in Pickering. We did a big session on the 2nd building and the 3rd building there, and we've seen a lot of demand in Pickering.
San Francisco, by the way.
San Francisco projects. Universal City is different from the San Francisco ones because it's much closer to the GO station. So anybody who knows the Pickering GO station, it's about a 25-minute ride into the city. Yeah.
That's key. That's really
which is great because if you think about some of the subway stops further north, you're much closer to the city.
Yeah, I mean it takes to get to downtown Toronto from say like Yorkdale.
Yeah.
More. It takes about that time. Yeah. So given the times,
Yeah. So we're now Pickering, and we're going to do a really big discussion on Pickering because I do think it deserves it. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in Pickering right now that people aren't aware of with the new casino and the new entertainment district that they're building there. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff happening, but Universal City is the first of, again, a multi-phase that they're doing down at the GO station. Yeah. So give us some timelines and some quick overview on Universal, Mike.
So we are going to be getting the information, platinum broker information, April 25th.
Yeah.
April 25th, so end of April. So as soon as we have that information, then we'll obviously let people know. I have a lot of people who've been asking about this because, again, Pickering is one of those areas where price per square foot is still really attractive. And again, it has that. It's one of those places where if you're not familiar with it, it sounds far, but it's really not. If you're from the area, you know that it's 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's a 7-minute walk to the GO. So you could be door to door to Union Station within close to
And it's also one of those cities that is primed for development because of that.
It's got the waterfront right there as well, Frenchman's Bay. So there's a lot of great stuff going on here.
Over 30,000 new jobs coming. The population is going to be probably doubling over the next X number of years. It's just one of those massive, and again, we talk about master plan communities. Getting into an early phase of this project is going to be key as Pickering develops over the years. So not just end user product, but investor product as well is going to be massive here.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, excellent. So the next batch are projects that we've already talked about in quite a lot of detail. So we don't want to spend too much time on them. We do still like to keep mentioning them because they are sort of bubbling up and they're going to be coming real soon, and we want to make sure that they're at the front. The first one is Garden District Condos. Mutual and Shooter. Mike, do you want to give us 10-15 seconds on Garden District?
Yeah, Mutual Shooter coming soon. We don't have an exact date yet. We're thinking probably in the next...
We were always told April sometime.
April sometime, so sometime this month. We talked about earlier Jarvis revitalization as part of that corridor with just a huge amount of projects coming. 35 stories, only 234 units, AAA location, 5 minutes to Yonge and Dundas Square, the TTC, Ryerson University. So another huge core Toronto project.
Yeah, okay, awesome.
The next one is the Park Suites at Lakeside Residences, Amit.
Yeah, it's
a
going to
quick
be
rundown.
very quickly. East Bayfront. We've gone on and on about East Bayfront. It's the third release of the first phase of Lakeside Residences. The initial release with the City Suites which was the back portion of the podium, and the Sky Suites, which was the tower portion. The Park Suites is the front sort of portion of the podium. Park Suites because the west side is facing the park.
Yeah.
Sherborne Common Park. Looking forward to it. It's only 15 floors, 250 odd suites. Very excited about it. It's one of our favorite neighborhoods to work in.
Yeah.
One of our favorite developers of the year so far.
So the
really
key takeaway for the Park Suites is that it is going to be that more investor-driven batch of units with the smaller units, and I think this one's going to fly based on the demand from the first one. Same as the first release, yeah. The next one is M2M, Young and Finch, Newton Brook Plaza. This one, again, a lot of demand from the locals, especially. It's a plaza that's near and dear to the locals. So give us a quick rundown on M2M. Again, we're still waiting on firm timelines, but they are getting very, very close now.
Yeah, no, just very quickly, it's at Young and Comer, which is about a 5-minute walk from the Finch subway station. The site acquisition, it happened last year, was one of the biggest land acquisitions of the year, 200 odd million. The company is phenomenal. They've got a very interesting background when it comes to sports and recreation. So they're going to try and do a tie-in to this development. They've got a space dedicated on the land for a park and a playground, which is phenomenal. You don't tend to see that all of that often. It's a multi-phase development, which we really, really like. 5 towers. The initial release will be 2 towers, 34 and 36 stories, I believe, with an 8-story podium. There's going to be a mix of ground level tenants. So there's going to be office space. There's going to be retail. There's plans for a daycare center. So it's a very interesting development. We're really, really looking forward to it. A brand new developer to the city, Toronto City, but it's very much a global developer. They've developed Australia, Canada. So they've got a very long and established background. So really, really looking forward
and I
to
think
what they
with
bring.
M2M, obviously we're going to do a full
Big
video.
deep dive.
This is another project that deserves
For sure. Absolutely.
a big discussion, and we're looking forward to that. The next one that is we're starting to get some early information on is Door Condos in Thornhill. You had a look at that?
Yeah. Thornhill, so anybody's familiar with the area, Bathurst and Centre is the major intersection, just 2 blocks west at New Westminster. It's another Fernbrook and Citizen Venture, so our playground condominium builders. This is going to be more luxury geared living, is what they're saying. But there's tons of amenities nearby, retail nearby, all the big box stores. The promenade is there. And you have 2 GO stations within 10 minutes for anybody that's looking to stay within Thornhill, but is still looking to get downtown. But we're being told more luxury geared living, so maybe more people from the area. End user product potentially, but still not a ton of information. But it's one of those that will sneak up on us, and we'll have a lot more information soon.
Similarly to Door, the next one as well, which is the final one we're going to talk about today, is VENDOME condominiums in Markham.
Yeah, we don't have a huge amount of information on VENDOME, but it's essentially kind of very similar. It's in Markham, Warden and 7. It's a 5-minute drive to the New York University campus.
Yeah, which is huge.
Which is absolutely massive, and I don't think people really talk about that as much as they should. 5-minute drive to Unionville GO Station. Again, just one of those well-located central projects where you've got Markham and Thornhill, you've got huge populations there, and people are craving condominium units in these areas. So as soon as we have more information, we'll obviously do bigger, deeper dives. But at least this gives people the idea of, hey, there's something coming within this area.
Markham is growing rapidly too, right?
Based on my early discussions with the team there, VENDOME, it's a French-inspired high-end building, and that's where the name comes from. So we're expecting more information very, very soon on VENDOME as well. So that about does it for this week. We're really excited about all of these projects, and we do encourage you to reach out to us. Once you know which ones you're interested in, sign up for the priority access on the email that you've received, and we'll be definitely getting you in touch with you as soon as we get more information.